Hello crafty friends, this is the Paper Chef here. In today's Brother ScanNCut tips and tricks tutorial, you are going to learn how to cut out patterned paper using your Brother ScanNCut STX 125. Let's get started. The designer series paper we're going to be using is called the Playful Pets. It's by Stampin Up. This particular tutorial is dedicated to dog lovers, or if you're a friend of a dog lover, because at the end of this tutorial, I'm going to show you 12 projects I created using the dogs that I cut out. And those projects include doggy treats, mostly doggy treats because I like 3D projects, cards, and bookmark, so things like that. But I have several styles of doggy treats. Okay, I used this Pampered Pet stamp set. I used a retired stamp set. I used this dog builder punch for a couple little accents. Okay, so this is the suite for you if you like animals. I didn't even try cutting the cats yet. In fact, I've had this suite for so long, and I'm surprised I just got around to cutting the dogs. But it's been requested by my crafty friends in my group, and you're welcome to join that group. It's in the Paper Chef's ScanNCut user group. I'm just showing you all the paper, or what I have left of it. Okay, I have one sheet of this. Now, in a pack of designer series paper, you get 12 double-sided sheets. So here's another sheet. I cut some of these dogs out. Okay, that's the back of that one. Okay, now there was another style of paper which I used, and it had like wolf, scratch, bark. It had like text on it, but I used both sheets of that up. Let's see if I have any little scraps. Yeah. Okay, I have a little bit of scraps of that. So I made some boxes. See, bark. Let me focus that. It's just such cute paper. I mean, I have a lot left, but not enough to do a whole sheet. Bark, wolf, dig, chase, scratch, wag, play. It's just a fun sheet. And on the other side, the little doggy bowls and bones and paws. So those are the 3 types of doggy sheets. But I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator after all, so I need to show you the whole pack of paper because, you know, we have cat lovers. We're not discriminating, right? And maybe we'll do cat treats another time. I love cats myself. That's the other side of that paper. But my tutorials take a great deal of time to prepare and the projects itself, so I'm only just focusing on the dog paper today. But I'm sure these are going to be just as easy to cut out. And even if you don't have this paper, but you have a ScanNCut, get some pattern paper and follow along with whichever pattern paper you have. Because cutting pattern paper is pretty much the same no matter what kind of pattern paper you have. It's just that what you make with it, the projects, are different. See how this has lots of sayings that similar to the dog sayings, but they're snooze, yawn, paw, jump, love, meow, purr, right? So they're related to cats. So this paper's great. With little designs like this is good for like card backgrounds and bookmarks. And you could cut these out. The ScanNCut will cut out objects that small, but it's just that I tend to like to cut out bigger objects like that. So we're already loaded the mat, and what I'm going to work on is this sheet of paper, and then I'll tell you about this sheet of paper. I'm going to tell you how I was able to cut these out and which one I couldn't in just a minute. I'm also going to tell you how I cut out the shapes for my card sentiments as well, because I actually used the ScanNCut today for all of my little Whisper White pieces of paper I used for my cards and for my treats. So I'm going to show you not only how to cut out pattern paper, but how to get the shape that you need. Now, I won't do this whole sheet now. I'm only going to do maybe this we'll just do maybe the upper right corner. So you must use the pencil trick. First of all, even though this paper is in color, it has really good contrast. Like this dog, it contrasts well with the white background, and so you don't need to use color recognition mode. But what you do need to do, not for this dog, but for this dog, you need to put a little line right down here, or it'll start to go up and it'll go inside and it'll try to select its face. And for this dog here, you need to enclose it. Okay, so really good contrast. Look, that color contrasts with the background everywhere. This color does. But however, it just not in that one spot. If you don't do this one spot, you're going to get a hot mess. Let's do this one as well. And then we're not going to select that dog because it's not a full dog. We'll select the wiener dog. Okay, so you're going to get to see that I only used the pencil trick on these two. And so we'll just select this area and we'll cut out that area. Why the upper right? Just because the upper right of my mat works better. You can cut the upper left, you can cut the whole darn thing, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter what you cut. I'm just going to select the area. I'm going to show you. Everything I teach you can be applied to whatever paper, whichever area of your mat. Okay, whatever you want to do. I'll even give you tips on how to use this CM350 and when I get to that part about the blade. This one you don't need to worry about the blade. All right, I've turned off my light. You turn on your machine, you're going to see pattern and scan. And by the way, I needed to tell you the coordinating colors of that. I forgot to tell you. Basic black, cinnamon cider, early espresso, flirty flamingo, real red, soft suede, and whisper white. Those are all the coordinating colors, and that's why I used real red a lot and early espresso in my projects. All right, so on my notes, we're covering everything now. You turn on your machine, you're gonna go to scan, and you're gonna go to direct cut. This is asking where do you wanna store the data? In our machine, we wanna store the data temporarily. You could store it online, but you'd have to have your wireless hooked up. Okay, now I'm gonna go into my settings and make sure you're in black and white recognition mode, okay? I had some trouble. I was troubleshooting in color recognition mode. I'll get to that later. I don't want to confuse you. I'm going to select the 12x6 scanning area. You're not going to have that on a CM machine, but I'm allowed to just scan the top of the mat, which saves me time. I'm in black and white recognition mode. Okay, I'm going to hit start. Black and white recognition mode always is faster. It's what I use 95, 99. I mean, it changes. The percentage changes. It's what I use most of the time, okay, is black and white recognition mode because that's all you need. Okay, we're going to say okay now. This dog here shouldn't have got selected because I didn't use the pencil trick on that dog. But these two should have. So let's say okay. Okay, and see how it's a hot mess? Perfect example. Okay, look, I'm going to zoom in. See how it got in there? Let me zoom in some more. But when you don't use a pencil trick, you're going to deal with things like this. And it's going to go in. If you don't cut that off with a pencil mark, it's going to go in and make a selection inside and start cutting your whole dog apart, and you're going to have a big hot mess. So we don't need that. We need to we want to use a pencil trick so we get a nice solid image. Okay, now we want to tell it to only get dogs from over this side of the mat. Okay, so one way to do that is I'm just make a selection. Okay, so just this side of the mat. Okay, now another thing I want to do. Actually, we don't need all those wieners. We'll just do this one just to save time. We don't need these 3 dogs. We'll just get these dogs. And we have one of those here. Because you're going to get the idea. I actually did a whole sheet at once, but you're going to get the idea just from cutting a few dogs. All right. So now the first way, so we can get only the dogs we want by making a selection. We then can say ignore object size to get rid of unwanted bits. We know the dogs. Let me show you this finished dog. Here's one of the smaller dogs that I cut out earlier, okay? You can tell but that this dog is maybe, it's more than an inch. It's about 1.5 inches. So we want to make sure we don't, and it's probably the smallest dog, so we want to make sure we don't ignore objects over, like, say, 1.25 inches. Because if we do, and we get up to the part where we ignore 1.5 inches, then we're going to ignore the very thing you're trying to cut out. But now I got rid of all the unwanted bits mostly by just saying ignoring object size. So then we click OK. And now we want to do an outline distance. Click here to the outline distance. That's putting a little outline distance like I did. It gives me a light white little margin around my doggy. And I'm using a 0.04. Okay, outline distance. We're going to click OK. We're going to click OK. And now it should be fast because I've only selected a few dogs. Okay, so go ahead and ignore that error message. It's saying that that dog was too close to the edge of the mat. You could cut that dog later by moving the paper down. But I don't need to worry about it because as long as we get one of these dogs, this is a dog that we're trying to cut out. As long as you get one of them, you get the idea. Okay, so it's saying it takes a minute because it rounds up to a minute. It's probably it took me about 5 minutes to do the whole sheet. I did the whole sheet earlier except for a couple. Then I had to move the paper around and to troubleshoot, and I had to do it again by moving the paper so that it would catch the other dogs that were too close to the side of the mat. In the end, I got almost all my dogs cut out. Maybe one got their foot cut off a little, that kind of thing. Now for this sheet, you're going to have, I would just say, you're going to have 100% success rate with this kind of sheet. And then I'm going to show you the project. I'm going to show you what I made with these in the projects, but I also want to tell you about a little bit about troubleshooting. So, all right. What you're going to do now is we're going to click OK. And we're going to just go ahead and unload the mat. Okay. And now I can teach you some more things with when I can turn back on my light. And I could talk about troubleshooting. All right, so we'll leave this up here. When you're all done, we're not going to save it. We're just going to click home and click OK. I'll leave that up there for a second. But first, I just need to show you this. Okay? I'm going to show you what's on the mat. Just so you know, no trickery being done. This is how awesome these just cut out for us. We only selected this top area. This one was a little too close to the top of the mat, but look how great these are. We'll get them off in a minute. Crafty friends, I'm inserting a little tip about how to cut out the dogs from the sheet. Okay, I tried cutting them the regular way. Okay, so I used black and white recognition mode, just like I did for the others, and I had no problems with this dog, this dog, this dog. Okay, so I cut loads of those, and I'm going to be showing you those projects I created with those. But however, for this dog here, it just was not getting recognized at all. So I tried color recognition mode, and I increased the color threshold, meaning the sensitivity of colors. I even went all the way up to 10, the highest it will go. It still did not recognize the contrast between this dog and the background. So I did not cut out that dog. If any of you had success, let me know which model you used, because I was not able to have success with either the CM350 model or the STX 125 in cutting out this dog here. But all the other dogs cut out just fine. These other three. Or yeah, these other three types. Okay, just wanted to insert that tip, and we'll continue the tutorial. Thanks. I did this stamping. I hope your day is a real treat. Okay, I wanted to find something that looked really cool and kind of whimsical, a shape on this machine. So I looked around at the patterns that were built in, and I went to, let's see which, I think I went to this one, the second one, which is the icon. See, the first one's just your shapes, and I went to this one. And now I went to the frames here. It's tags and frames. I went to the tags and frames. And I found this shape here, ARK005, and that's how I made this shape here. It fit perfectly when I changed the height to 1.75. And I'm going to put all these notes in the description of the video. It takes me a while to get to the notes. I still haven't even done a blog post from my last video on the tag buffet treats, but I will try to update my website, newsletter, description of this video. But anyway, so if you don't have to take notes right now, it'll be in the description. 1.75, and that's how you get this shape. I was able to put 12 of those on one piece of let's see, 12 of those. It was an 8.5 by 11. So in other words, 3 rows of 4. 3 rows of 4 fit on there. And you can just edit it, and you can go into edit, and you can go object edit and make and add it and do 12 of those. And okay, and it looks like a hot mess, but you could do, I've shown this in other videos and I show it again just now. Okay, you can click on select them all, make a selection of them all, select them all, okay, and then you're going to go, look, you're going to say okay, and you're going to go to this thing called the auto layout. It looks like the little shapes like hexagons, and that's how I got them all to line up there. See, all 12 of them. It looks like they're overlapping, but they're not. They're not overlapping, they're just barely touching. See, this is the shape. I was able to get 12 of those on one 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. I'm not cutting any more because I only do my tutorials on things I'm actually working on. I didn't mind cutting more pets, but I actually have a whole bowl. I already have a whole bowl of those already. So I don't need any more, so I'm not going to actually cut any more. But I hope you get the idea of how I cut these, and like I said, I'll put it in the description. And I'll explain how I stamped them, and it's probably going to take me longer to show you the projects than it did to teach you how to do this. But why are we doing this? To make projects, so it's all important, right? It's all important. So you remove your Designer Series paper from the mat, peel it off, then you're going to get your spatula, and you can bend, right? You can bend the mat and just peel, everything peels off easy when you bend the mat. Okay, so that's one way to get it off. Just use your spatula under there. Okay, and now this is even the fact, I even restuck my mat recently. Okay, before I move on, let me turn my camera down. Before I move on, I always erase my pencil marks. So this one's good, this one's good, this one's good. I want to erase those pencil marks and pick up the eraser marks with using some painter's tape. I don't ever use the red eraser. I always use a Pentel eraser, or just a white eraser, so that I don't get red marks on my objects. Okay, and then I just pick it up with some painter's tape. I always have painter's tape. I use it a lot of times for holding my stuff down, and I just pick up all the little erasers. See, and I also clean up my craft room that way. All right, so that's how you cut out stamped images. I mean, not stamped images. Well, that is actually how. That's how you cut out your pattern paper. So now let's talk about projects you can make with all these cuties once you cut them out. And how I got these, I can tell you how I got that one, or where, I think I can remember where I got that from. So bottom line is do everything at once. Just go cut yourself a whole sheet of these at once. Okay? Do all your work at once. Do mass produce. Okay? If you have a SDX, I'm just going to take this out for a second. If you have an SDX machine, you're going to have auto blade. So that's why I didn't mention blade depth. Okay? I'm just putting a piece of paper there because there's a big glare on my table. I didn't mention blade depth. Because we had an auto blade, it just figured out how deep to make it. But if you're cutting these little guys, these cuties, these pattern paper with your ScanNCut, you're going to use on a CM machine a blade depth of 3 for designer series paper, any blade depth of 4 for Whisper White cardstock. That's where I cut these, these shapes. So this is a blade depth of 4, but it's regular Whisper White. Now if you have this, what's called the thick Whisper White, or any other kind of Stampin' Up cardstock like Real Red or another kind of Whisper White, then you're going to have to use, if you use like thick cardstock to cut your layers, then you would need a blade depth of 5. Those are the 3 blade depths I use 99% of the time. All right, so what did I do? I took Real Red. I took this stamp set here, Pampered Pets, which is part of the suite, and I took this, I Hope Your Day is a Real Treat. I mounted it onto a clear stamping block, and I stamped it either straight, like this, or at an angle. Let me show you at an angle. See, that's why I kept testing. Like this was a good size, 1.75 high, because it went good at an angle and it went good straight. Okay, and that's how I stamped all these. Pampered Pets stamp set. If you want to get a starter kit this month, this is a great month to get a starter kit. I'll tell you about that later. You could get the whole darn suite. You could almost get 2 of these suites. You could get everything in the suite for like $67 or something. And you can really get $125 worth of items for $99. And so you could get every item I'm showing you today. Well, you can't get every item I'm showing you because you can't get this because it's retired, but I did use this paw. I just want to show you that. So if you're a dog lover, you probably already have this from last year. I use this paw, and sometimes I use that paw. And I used Rough once in a while. This is a retired set, but this is not retired, the Doggy Punch. And I use the Doggy Punch sometimes to make the little hearts. Somewhere I have these little hearts. They're super cute. Here, I punched them out of the designer series paper. I punched a paw out of the pattern of the designer series paper like this, using the Doggy Builder punch. So I will grab that. Now we still have the punch, but for some reason we retired the stamp set. So here's how cool you can just go in there and get yourself a little, see? So if you like dogs and you like what I'm showing you, this Doggy Builder punch is pretty cool. You can make little hearts. You can make hearts out of, see? Oh. And you know what would be fun, which I didn't do on my cards, which I should have done? Because I didn't have a lot of paper, is probably why. I could probably punch out these little sayings with the dog. That might look kind of cool. So let's try that right now. So I always like having punches to use up my scraps. Okay, which I'm about to show you, like how I got this template here. And it was actually, I'll refer to other videos of mine. But this one, yep, that would look very cool. Wag, play. Oh my, that's going to look cool. So right away, I'm thinking yes on the Doggy Punch for these projects. All right, so let me show you. I'm going to start by showing you. Like I said, I have 12 projects that I made plus one that a team member made. If you're dying to get this, here's my website as I show you my projects. All right, so here we go. I already told you blade depth. What else do I have in my notes? I have 5 dog treats, 1 mini. Okay, Here, I wanted to show you these first, is what's in my notes here. All right, if you recall, I did a video recently, and it was a Brother Canvas Workspace tutorial. And I say if you recall. If you're new to my channel, you obviously don't recall this. But if you want to check it out, it's on my channel. And in that, I showed you how to make, recently I showed you how to make these box liners. Okay, so let's get a box. I like to kind of give you the big picture, so you get clear tiny treat boxes. Okay. These are Stampin' Up's products, clear tiny treat boxes. A total must-have. You could put candies in them too and give them to dog lovers. I just happen to put little doggy treats in these, but I like to show you how I got there and how the ScanNCut helped me. But I'm not going to do that tutorial again tonight because you already have it. It's already on YouTube. I try not to repeat myself too much. I always like to use new products. But that was a Halloween. I did some Halloween boxes. So bottom line is you get this cute little liner. Okay, and you just, doesn't matter what you put on the outside, but let's just put that on the outside. And then that would be the front because it's facing up, whereas that side would be the back. The ScanNCut doesn't just cut this for you perfectly, it scores it. It scores it for you. Right, so then you close your little tiny treat box. Actually, it's, food safe. It was even wrapped in extra plastic. I mean, you're giving somebody a reusable gift this way too. They can put more treats in it when they're done and give it to another pet lover. So there we go. Put that in there. Okay, that brings me to my first project. I filled it with treats I got from the Dollar Tree. All the treats I'm showing you today were just from $2. Two things of treats. Okay, and here's how it looks. So you cut out your pattern paper. I stamped the little Enjoy from that stamp set from the Pampered Pets. The little paw is from that Happy Tails. I used early espresso for the little paw. And I forget where this die came from, but anyway, it's one of my little dies. It doesn't matter, you can make a circle from your machine. And then there's a little wiener dog and this. And I got the string. I made it so I take this off easy. Other ones it's not as easy to take off, but that little twine is part of the suite. There's my little heart. I told you how I got the heart by punching, but you can get the heart out of your ScanNCut. These are little gourmet peanut butter treats. Gourmet peanut butter treats. I don't have any more left, but they're at the Dollar Tree. Dog treat Foppers? Gourmet pet treat bakery. Foppers. Fresh baked Foppers. Okay, vet recommended. I thought they were peanut butter. Maybe the other ones I have are peanut butter. I saw peanut. Maybe I just thought they were peanut butter because they look like peanut butter. Let's see what it says on the Best Buy 2022. Oh, here it is. That's where. Peanut powder. Okay. So you just so you know what's in them. Okay, so that I was able to get that. And then my next treat. Okay, so moving along. So there's my treat. That's how I got it. You see how I got it. Moving along, I have this box liner, which again I showed in that same Canvas Workspace tutorial. We'll put the little sayings. We'll put it like that so you can read it. So that would be your front. Okay, bark, wolf, because it's facing up. And we are now going to use, because I like using different boxes, we're now going to use this box, the acetate card box. So it's a little mini card box. It's a new item. It's in our mini catalog. This one's not covered with extra plastic. And since I started doing the Halloween treats, I realized it was better to not make this the top, to make this side the top, because then it folds down. That was like my discovery, like epiphany. So that should be the top. So you just fold in all the sides and you put your liner in. Again, ScanNCut, make you perfect liners. Doesn't matter which side's the front or the back, but unless you're just for your tag. I mean, it only matters when you put your tag on there. So I put that in. Okay, I loaded it with treats. Well, I shut the one side. Loaded it with treats. Shut the other side of the box. Okay, and here's my final project. Not product. I guess it's a product. Okay, let me see if I could take this twine. I think I made it loose enough so I could take the twine off. So again, I used this cute little dog that looks just like my friend's dog who passed away. Not recently, Wilson, but he passed away a while ago. So I'm going to give this to my friend who has another dog now, and I'm going to say, that this little doggy reminds me of your dog Wilson, who used to eat like all the Wilbur buds and get sick. He's not supposed to eat chocolate. Hey, maybe I can open this without taking the string off. Duh. Okay, I want to show you how these cute little peanut butter gourmet treats from the Dollar Tree line up perfectly in little rows. So that's why I'm taking this out. And I know if you're in another country you don't have Dollar Tree, but most of my viewers, just from looking at my analytics, are from the US. So, you can head on over to a Dollar Tree. They're still open no matter where you're at because they have food, so they're an essential store. Essential items. Look at that. It lined up, well, when you push the side against. Look at that. You can get 16 little tiny treats. I mean, they're just super, super cute. But like I said, if you have dog lover friends, you can you can get them these things. You can do these things, what I'm showing you. Not what I'm saying is dog lover friends, even if you're not making treats for their dogs or giving them treats for their dogs, then you can still make these projects and put candy inside the box. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, I have more treats to show you. I have more cards. Let's do a card. We'll do a card and then we'll go back to more treats. All right, so here's a card I made, and that was that other piece of designer series paper like that I just showed you with the sayings and the patterns in the back. And this card kind of, I did it inside and outside to kind of show you, like, you can't do this with just your dies. Even if you get the dies, it's a good idea to get the dies that come with the suite because dies have other things on them. And the die will cut out the stamp, like it'll cut out the metal die. I already lost my stamp set. Pampered Pets. Okay, the die will cut out this little doggy from the paper. Here it is. And it'll cut out like this, and I think these ones. But it won't cut out every kind of dog. And that's why I was so happy to be able to cut out these dogs, because you can't cut them out with the dies. Right? And it's just so much fun. But this little dog has the best little attitude. I mean, look at her face. It's just so funny. So for this one, I used real red cardstock. Real red was what I said. If you have a CM user, real red cardstock or thick whisper white cardstock requires a blade depth of 5. You can cut your card bases on your ScanNCut if you want. And look how fun it is to put all the doggies inside. And I put the little Ruff from Happy Tales. I put little Ruff over there like they're having a conversation. So you just can't do that with fuzzy cutting. I mean, well, good luck. Go for it. You want to cut all these out with scissors? You'll be there all day. I mean, these projects are so much cuter and so much more accurate when you use your ScanNCut. All right, so now let's show you something from a friend, a team member. Just while I'm on this topic, so a team member in my swap did this project, and look how cute. She used a little trinket. So I spent a long time looking for my little trinkets, and I did use, I'm going to show you my bookmark next because I used a trinket. Because I was like, where are my trinkets? I bought the whole suite, so I knew I had them. This twine, the twine I've been using, this black twine and this red twine, real red twine, or it comes in the suite. And I think she might have used stitched oval dies. And I love how she used black enamel dots. I love how she used the banners. The inside, nothing on the inside. And this was from Patsy. Okay, so she's one of the team members. We did a team swap. This is from Patsy. So I wanted to show you her card while I'm here because I'm showing you the Pampered Pets suite. All right, so now I want to show you how I used the trinket. This is for a friend, Jill, who used to have 2 wiener dogs. And they both passed away. But we've known these friends for over 20 years. So they've had maybe, I don't know, they even adopt dogs when like people leave and they go away in the military or something and they adopt someone's dog. I mean, they've probably had 20 dogs since we've known them. But I definitely thought of her, and I put these 2 dogs there, and I'm giving this to my friend Jill. Okay, and there's how I used the little trinket. I just tied on the trinket, made it loose. I tied it on with twine, and then I used some of this braided, real red braided linen trim, and that's how I did that one. Again, made possible with the ScanNCut. Okay, I have a couple more different styles of treats to show you and a couple more cards. So let's show you the doggy treats. Last year, as you know, I did a lot of these for the Christmas craft fairs. So if you're interested in doing Christmas doggy treats, putting a little Santa hat on Mr. Doggy, then check that out. And I used milk bones for that. But these, I'm using the Dollar Tree. Okay, I told you I only spent $2 on all the treats I'm showing you. So we'll show you the box, and everything I did came from one box. And this is what the box looks like. Oh, here it is. That's where I also saw peanut. Chicken, peanut, lamb, vegetable, and cheese flavor. And this is what the box looked like. All I have left are the broken ones. So in other words, I used the whole I used the whole box, and I have a few broken ones left. Okay? And so I also gave a baggie full of these to my friend's dog before I even started making treats. So I'd already given some of these away. So here I have five like this. So I experimented with different lengths for the topper. Let me get all 3 lengths and kind of tell you what I ended up voting on. Voting on meaning a self-vote. I'm the only one that votes because I'm the only one crafting here. So I can't even see what you see, so I'm hoping this is all in the camera view. All right, we'll put it over here and hope for the best. All right, so these are the 3 size toppers, meaning they're always going to be, I have 2-inch bags, and I'll link to my bags. I'll link to the different materials I used. Maybe they even have a Dollar Tree online. I mean, maybe, I never shop at it online, but we'll link to whatever materials I can find. I'll link to the kind of eraser I use. I'll link to these kind of bags I use. I'll link to maybe milk bones that you could fit in here. Last year I used milk bones. They fit fine, but I had to make a little tray to hold the milk bones. So again, if you're interested in that, it was a 3-part series on making doggy treats with the ScanNCut. So here's what a 5-inch one scored, and so it's 2.5 tall. This is a 6-inch one scored, so it's 3 inches tall. And I believe this was a 8-inch. I think this one was an 8-inch. So I didn't like this one. It was too tall, but it looked really good for my dogs, for my big dogs. So that's why I had to put a big dog on it. This one was the one I voted on. This one I ended up loving, and I made 3 of them. So that's the one I ended up like photographing because these cuties look really good near each other. And on my photograph, I made this guy facing that way and this guy facing this way. So they're all happy little dogs, happy little treats. And you see how the treats have the little dots on them, and then the ones on the back might have not had the dots, but that's okay. I guess that's the way they bake them. Not really sure. But what dog wouldn't love getting this present? So one time my husband and I sent a care package to our friend Kelly in Texas because he adopted our dog, our dog CJ, who we adopted from our friend Linda. So anyway, he agreed to take this dog for us. So we sent some doggy treats for CJ, who and we sent him to Texas. And our friend calls us and he's like, "What in the world did you bake?" And we're like, "What do you mean, did we bake?" And he had eaten the dog treats. He thought they were like cookies. He said they weren't that bad, but he was just like wondering what the heck we baked. Like, what was it? Was it a cookie? He was like, "What did you guys bake for me?" And we're like, "We didn't bake anything for you." He didn't eat them all. CJ got some, but he started eating all the doggy treats. So this is one reason you want to make treats like this, because these are clearly for dogs, right? They got dogs, they got dogs, they got dogs. Now, when I had put those other ones in some goodie bags, they weren't as clear that they were for dogs. The way I had wrapped them. Lesson learned. And so also you might want to hand them out in person. Like you give these out at church. "Hey, I know you have a dog. This is for your dog. This is a treat to bring home for your dog." So we always tease them about that. Every time it's like, "Hey, don't eat these." Like when we give them some stuff, we're always like, or if we're like walking around to a store with them, we're like, "Kelly, don't eat these. These are for the dog." All right, let me show you 2 more cards, and then my favorite project is my next treat thing. So here's another card. This is a card I made with a very narrow margin. So it has a real red. It's a real red topper, but I wanted to make enough room. So I usually only use like a 4-inch, but this time I used like a 4 1/8 or something, because I wanted to have more room for the doggies to be displayed proudly on the front of this card. Let's see if I put anything on the inside. Nothing on the inside. It's just a plain one. You can use "I hope your day is a real treat" for any occasion. Like meaning, it could be a birthday or just giving, telling someone to have a great day. Okay, and then here's another card I made. And I started running out of this background paper and different, as you can see, I used a lot of background paper for this card. So I just decided to use what's called In Good Taste Designer Series paper. Again, I'll link to all my materials. And I used the In Good Taste for this one. And that's like those wood textures. I use it a lot for photographing my pictures. So this is all the In Good Taste with some crumb cake background. And I put loads of dogs in there. And what did I put in the middle? Oh, just rough. Just giving some. And then I used the little flag punch. But you don't have to. You can use your scissors. I used the little flag. I mean, that's not called flag. It's called Banners Pick a Punch. That's how I make my little cute ends for this. Banners Pick a Punch. And then I forgot to tell you which I used for this one. I forgot to tell you about this topper punch, and that is this punch here is called the Delightful Tag Topper Punch. We have 3 kinds of topper punches at Stampin' Up. And great things to select for your starter kit. If anybody ever asks me, what should I get? I always tell them get a topper punch to make bookmarks and things. Like if you're gonna get anything from us, like that's the one thing I use the most. I've made thousands upon thousands of bookmarks and tags for so many occasions. All right, here's my favorite project. I always have a favorite. And this is the mini pizza box. Again, if you've been watching my channel, you know how to cut out these pieces precisely. And yes, I just used my ScanNCut to cut out these pieces precisely. Or, you know, to get the top. I mean, you can use a paper trimmer, obviously, but you don't have to. Now, why is this my favorite? Because not only is it cute and it's 3D and it holds a lot, but I put my little doggies on wobble springs. And I'll link to wobble springs. This one's not wobbling as much as he should. I guess I'm backward. Yep, I must have mounted him backwards. See how he vibrates more when you push him in that direction. It's supposed to go that way. But a wobble spring is just a nice way of making something really pop up and be 3D. And I use that trinket again. And the trinkets look like this. And you can use the heart ones they're called Playful Pets trinkets. You can use the heart ones for, you know, Valentine's Day. Or you could put these around the neck of your little pets that you cut out. Okay, so let's show you the inside of that one. I tied it in the back because I just liked the way that it fell on the top. And this one's from the little cheap box dies, this little die here. And that twine is from Pampered Pets. So those were my 12 projects. Plus, again, I showed you the project from the friend or the team member. And so that's what I made with all this. And then you could put, these were all the leftover treats. I had the leftover treats, meaning 3 more from the Dollar Tree, and then I had these little ones I lined the bottom with. But you can put lots of Hershey Nuggets inside here. You can put lots of stuff inside here. And there's that paper that has bark, wolf, love, and it's just so much fun. And you could put that on a wobble. You could put that little happy dog. I mean, I just love all the dogs. I love how happy all the dogs are, and I love how this one has an attitude. Because like my brother, you tell him, have a nice day, and he'll give you that look. One of my brothers, right? Oh, I hope you have a great day, and he'll give you that look. So it's a really funny look. All right, so almost done. I had something to show you, but it wasn't like in the best shape. But right now, in the month of September, we're having a starter kit special at Stampin' Up. It's called the Get and Go Starter Kit Promotion. And in addition to picking your $125 worth of any items you want, anything you want, like anything from our whole catalog, holiday catalog, mini catalog, in addition to getting anything you want for up to $125 and only paying $99 and getting free shipping, you also get all these extras this month. Granny Apple Green cards, like little pieces to make some cards. Coastal Cabana cards, little pieces to make cards. You get 8 pre-cut paper packs of each. Granny Apple Green and 8 pre-cut Coastal Cabana card packs. Okay, Queen Anne's Lace stamp set, So Much Love stamp set, Rhinestone Basic Jewels. I had those to show you, but of course they're not within reach, but they could probably be in this catalog. Okay, so just as an example, and I didn't do my spreadsheet this time, but basically you can add up. Say you wanted this whole suite collection, that's $67. Okay, and then say you wanted this Doggy Builder Punch. Say you just wanted to do the Dog Lover Starter Kit. You can do that. There's the Dog Builder Punch. Okay, say you wanted this, one of our punch, Delightful Tag Topper Punch. And you add it up until you get to your $125, and then you pay only $99. You get free shipping, and you get a previous paper pumpkin kit. And you get lots of things. You get a discount on all of you start with a 20% discount. I'm up to 25. Doesn't take long to get up to 25% discount. If you stay active, it should take you less than a year. You'll be getting promoted to bronze elite in no time and getting a 25% discount. So that's the special. I've already folded the paper because I put these in with my customer thank you cards and things. So that's why I have it in this shape it's in. But that's all for now. This is the Paper Chef. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and the sharing of all my projects you can create when you use patterned paper from the Playful Pets suite by Stampin' Up. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.